And I'm thinking, well, if I can just finish, Ansar. You see, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Ansar, it's not a problem.
We've been talking a long time.
If I can just finish. I'm nearly finished. You did speak and I allowed you and I stayed silent. At the end of the day, I would suggest one thing, Ansar, that if you are going to discount anything, doesn't have to be only matters related to religion, if you are going to discount anything, at least owe yourself that much that you will look at the evidence appropriately and then discount it.
Right.
Is that okay? There is perhaps something I can ask you to do. Yeah? If you have discounted the Quran, and this was many years ago, but you still look very young, yeah? I would say one thing, brother, yeah? Why don't we do this? And I would say this to you, that look, let's meet again, because we'll be back in 3 or 4 weeks.
Well,
one second, Ansar, let me finish. Let me finish. Yes, because if I'm talking to someone who perhaps is not familiar with the information, then it becomes a long, if I can just finish, it becomes a long-winded one. So, if you rejected the Quran, I don't mind if we want to discuss the Quran and the Bible, I don't mind, I can do that. Yeah, but don't you think you should look at the evidence and then let's come back. For example, if I tell you, okay, what made you discount the Bible? What would you say?
The same reasons that it didn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem like it's true. It looks like it's much more written by human beings, made up by human beings.
Yeah. Excellent. You see,
reasons.
It doesn't seem, it looks like it's this, it's that. It's not very scientific in your approach. That's what I'm considering. Yeah. All I'm saying is, look, perhaps
all you're saying
what we need to do.
All you're really saying is that you can't scientifically disprove a subjective text.
No. You can't
Did I claim that you could?
You've gone off a tangent. I didn't say anything like that.
That is your only point.
Brother, you are again projecting. I have never said anything like that. I was actually exploring only what you said.
That is exactly what you're saying.
Not exactly. Well, if you want to believe that, that's entirely your decision. But scientifically, you are incorrect. Answer, if I can just finish. No, I don't know how you are thinking like that. Now, this is what you would call, what you are always referring to, perhaps, potentially, intellectual dishonesty. But let's leave it at that. Yeah? Having said that, you see, Ansar, all I'm saying to you is this.
Can I have a chance to speak here? Because you went off on a long one and I had something to say about it, which is the same thing I said before. But I have to say it because you're just not understanding. Yeah? Now, human beings have been trying to work out what's going on in the world. Yeah? Now, at the end of the day, thousands of years ago, people looked at nature and they saw lightning, they saw earthquakes, they saw people dying, they saw all kinds of horrible shit, and they thought, why does that happen? Yeah? They didn't have a formalized way of finding these things out. Yeah? So they made up silly stories. They made up magical stories with magical guys up there doing all this stuff, but ultimately caring about us and going to give us justice. Wow, doesn't it seem so typical that a primitive human being in hundreds of different cultures would make up the same stupid shit? Of course it does. Yeah? So when I look at that and I see that those are the type of stories that people made up thousands of years ago, I'm pretty suspicious about them being actually true. Now, as time has gone on and the scientific method gained momentum and weight because it kept being useful and giving us explanatory power as well as predictive power. Yeah? When it was able to start doing things like that, it became very obvious that all these things that we made up gods and magic for was unnecessary. There was never a good reason to invent a magical explanation for the physical world. So one by one, why does it rain? We worked out the electromagnetic forces. Why does earthquakes happen? What's it called? Tectonic plates moving. Every single thing was replaced with a physical explanation and the magical explanation was thrown out the window. So he says to me again, but I got you down to a place with intuition where you couldn't explain the scientific, therefore you had to rely on magic. No, when we don't have an explanation for something, we will say we don't know, we are exploring, we have a number of possibilities, more work has to be done until we find a better explanation. That's not relying on magic, but guess what? When you can't work out why it rains or why lightning happens, and then you say Zeus sent spears down to kill cave people or people who didn't pray, that is a completely magical and frivolous and unnecessary explanation. And he doesn't seem to understand the difference between the two things. Your turn.
You see, Ansar, you keep repeating yourself respectfully like an old record. Yeah, number one,
said that
if I can just finish,
times.
I know I have to. I'm talking to you.
So why do you think I have to repeat myself? Because I'm talking to you.
Because you want to convince yourself you're right.
It's because I'm talking to you.
Okay, can we move on? Yeah, good. Yeah, you see, when you talk about the primitive peoples did X, Y, and Z, I'm here thinking this is the gentleman who is discounting evidence.
What evidence?
If I can just finish. I was quiet when you spoke.
but you keep calling this evidence that I discount.
You
Which
discounted
evidence?
when you formulated your
Which
reasons for
evidence
why
did I discount? The Quran?
there was no evidence. That's what I'm relying on. Yeah, you see, at the end of the day, when you talk about primitive peoples, it is like as though you actually went back in time and interviewed them and asked them, did you do this and did you rely on a magical? It sounds silly, respectfully.
It doesn't sound silly
if
that they got a magical link in a cave from some magical god. That doesn't sound silly.
I
But
didn't.
me assuming that human beings done it all with their hands and minds, that sounds silly.
Answer, I didn't interject. I'm sure you can hold patience.
Bro,
if you are
what
on
you're
the
saying
right,
is- come on, man.
well,
It's
when
not
you
very
said
smart.
silly things, I said quietly and listen. Anyway, let's not get to that. Okay. At the end of the day, it seems like you did, but I know you didn't. You couldn't have. You cannot do it. So you are relying on third-party evidence, which I can surmise you have not even thoroughly considered.
Bro, I'm really
so
getting
one
bored of this.
second,
I'm
one
getting
second.
bored of this.
I got bored from the first 5 minutes, but I'm
Bro,
still continuing.
I'm
Don't worry.
getting bored of it.
Look, listen, answer. At the end of the day, we will come to a close. Don't worry about it. I don't mind. Yeah. At the end of the day, you've got to accept that if your position, and I agree with it, if your position is that you don't know, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But then, don't come out with this magical idea
Right,
because it
so
makes you
his
look
point is
silly.
simply, that
Can I
as a
finish? Can I
naturalist,
finish?
we have to rely on
Can
the
I-
physical models of how the world operates. In some places you go down and we don't have an
How you-
explanation like can infinity exist? Is the universe was created or made or infinite or whatever? There's certain questions we don't have a conclusive answer for. So he says because we don't have a conclusive answer, we must believe in magic, otherwise how could that happen? No, bro. We know that we are limited.
Thankfully,
you guys are the
Yeah,
ones
5
that
minutes.
are the only ones
2 minutes,
that
yeah.
make up a magical explanation for things, and you cannot equate that with gaps in scientific knowledge because we admit we don't know. We only go as far as the evidence allows us to.
Right, answer. You see, you have this knack to say things which I never even mentioned, but I can see because you have got a rehearsed way of discussing things, and that's all you've been
I've
repeating.
got a rehearsed way.
Okay,
If I checked his videos.
Yeah, can I just finish? You can be personal. I don't mind. Yeah. At the
You're
end
not
of the
talking about me, yeah?
No,
When
I'm
you
talking
said-
about your ideas.
When you said I've got a rehearsed
Yeah, your
way,
ideas.
you're not talking about me.
No, your ideas.
Right, then.
Yeah, there is a distinction. I'm sure you
Really?
know the difference.
Really?
Yeah, you look at that.
And all I did was, have you checked his videos? Yeah?
Answer. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind. You're making me famous. Thank you. Yeah.
You don't need me to make you
You
famous,
see,
bro.
at the end of the day, answer. The fact is,
Yeah.
when you say you don't know,
Yeah.
you will note that when we started, I said we don't all know everything, didn't I? The camera will prove it, and it just shows that. Well, you seem to have this idea that, okay, these religionists have this magical idea.
Yes. it is
Yet on the
It
on,
is magical,
if
though.
I can finish, you see, it is only that if you can stand here, despite having told me that science doesn't deal with absolutes, yet here you are confidently asserting exactly that.
So because science
if
doesn't
I can
deal with
finish,
absolutes,
answer.
does that mean science deals with magic?
Look,
No.
answer. I know you are trying to
Bro,
convince
this is
yourself
a
that's
joke. I
entirely
can't
yours.
believe what you're talking about.
I agree with you, but you are the one who are
Who
talking
are?
about
Who's
it like that.
laughing at
Yeah?
me?
You can say that. But at the end
Bro,
of the day, you
just
see,
because
answer,
science
just
doesn't deal in
finally.
absolutes, that doesn't give you an excuse
I-
to call science dealing in magic.
I haven't done
What are
that.
you
I'm talking
You
about.
You had said that. You
No,
just said
answer.
that.
I'm talking about you, not the method. You see, at the end of the day, respectfully, I would say that I would adjure you to actually consider the evidence appropriately.
What evidence? I've been asking you this from the beginning. What evidence?
Simplify it for him and tell him what evidence.
Okay, thank you. Right. You see, at
you guys don't know either.
at the end of the day, answer.
Yes.
You see, if you take the position, and I already mentioned it, you take the position of you don't know, okay, everything. I'm qualifying it. Yeah, you don't know everything.
quick there.
Then it's not only that. Answer. If you are making that admission, all I'm saying to you is the look. In that case, you cannot discount anything. If I can just finish.
And I didn't. I said that
Well,
there's
you
still a
have.
possibility.
Well, if there is a possibility, then there is a possibility you'll
Yeah, but
believe.
that possibility
if I can
is the
just
same
finish,
as the
answer.
possibility in any
There is
type of
yes,
thinking.
exactly, and there's also a
So
possibility.
there's no
you'll-
reason to give Islam any special treatment.
there is also a possibility that you'll believe in this very magical person in the sky. Do you agree?
I don't.
You see, so it's a pretense that
No,
oh
because
yes,
I
you
know
will.
what
you
I
will.
believe. It
Yeah.
might be a possibility for you.
Do you
but-
know what you believe?
Yes.
On what?
That I
Based
don't
on
believe
evidence
in
or
it.
intuition?
Bro,
Which
what is
one?
wrong with you? What are you trying to get at?
It's
What are you trying to
intuition.
get at? What are you trying to get
A
at?
pleasure, answer.
You want to cut it there?
And, look, at the end of the day, I wanted to discuss it based on evidence, but it seems like
So I said to you, what's the evidence? So have you ever given me one piece of evidence that I should have looked at?
If you
Bro, you've been going on about
answer,
evidence this whole
answer.
time. Give me one piece of evidence
Answer.
that I should have analysed.
Answer. if you noticed from the start, it is what you said, and I was addressing what you said.
Yeah.
And then I only went on what you said. And if it's caused this confusion, well, I'm sorry. Yeah. What I am saying to you is,
No, but
look,
just
let's
give me the
look at the evidence.
Yes, so
yeah.
which
Now
evidence?
here,
Which
listen to me.
evidence?
I already asked you about the Bible and the Quran.
Yeah.
What I am
So you
suggesting.
consider that to be evidence?
No. What I'm suggesting.
How can you consider the Bible and the Quran to be evidence?
Let him finish.
Come on, bro.
I know it's difficult for you to appreciate what I'm about to say, but I'm sure you'll understand. You see, anything and everything is to be considered evidence until it is discounted. Now, you might not have learned that, but I'm telling you sincerely, everything can be considered evidence until it is discounted logically, rationally, reasonably.
I don't
The
think
Quran, you see, the brother
Everything
himself
is
said,
evidence until it's discounted.
one second.
Everything is evidence for the Bible being true until you discount it.
Exactly, because you have to analyze the evidence.
Right.
It's something you are not privy to, it seems like. Yeah, but I will tell you
It's a
something,
special
answer.
pleading. You
At
didn't
the
use
end,
the same evidence that the Bible would claim.
here we
And
go
you
again
said
with the
whether
usual
Quran-
special pleading, this,
Bro,
that.
what's the
Look,
evidence? I've been asking you so many times.
Are
What's
you
evidence?
saying the Bible cannot be considered evidence, or the Quran
Bro,
cannot be
what is
considered
the
evidence?
evidence?
No,
Just
I'm
tell me.
asking you. Can you consider
You keep
it
going on
evidence?
about I didn't check the evidence. We should start from the evidence. What evidence?
I can't simplify it any more than this.
No, but what evidence? Give me the evidence. Which evidence?
One second. Yeah, the Bible.
Do you want to come and
number one.
take over?
No, he's helping you. He's assisting you. Answer, brother.
If he's not listening,
When
just come in and do it.
When
for
did you
him,
guys
innit?
come? Did you just come now?
Bro, if
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
not following his script, come and put him right, innit? No. Prompt him.
It's your script. He's trying to understand.
He's not talking to me. I don't
Not
know.
mine.
He keeps telling you to say something.
He's telling you.
telling you to say something.
Well,
What?
basically, brother.
If you need his help, just bring him in. innit?
Brother.
Just bring him in.
Brother, at the end of the day, yes. All I say is that if we look at something and it is considered evidence, then we have to be humble enough to accept it as evidence.
What do you consider
One
evidence?
second.
What do you consider evidence?
1 second.
I want to get down to it.
I asked you, do you consider the Bible as evidence?
For what?
Yeah?
For evidence for
For
what?
assessment.
Bro, what?
Yes or no?
I can consider the Bible
Yes or no?
to be evidence for a book, evidence for a human being must have wrote it, evidence for a God. Those are three different things. So what is it evidence for?
Excellent. Let's look at all three and consider it as such.
I think
is
it's
it evidence?
I think it's evidence that a human being wrote it in a human language during a human period.
Excellent. Now, don't you
I
think?
don't think it's evidence for anything more than that.
Right. Excellent. But you do consider it to be evidence.
Evidence for
Yes.
human and natural
Right.
things.
Excellent. Now, logic dictates that if me and you are going to agree or disagree over the contents of the book, we should reasonably assess them. Correct? Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes. That's all I'm asking. Did you do that? And the affirmative answer from you has been no.
Well,
and all I said is, look, let's explore that
So
possibility.
I didn't tell you that when I was in university for 3 years, I had a lot of discussions and debate with Muslims who used to tell me it says this in the Quran, that proves it's true. Yeah. So then I went through and looked at their claims and found that no, these are just silly misinterpretations of stupid Arabic, ancient Arabic, and anybody can come along and post hoc say it said this and that kind of stuff. So I did look at the evidence. Because you just said that was the evidence, the book.
The evidence that you relied on, I said, is there a possibility, you know about the seven heavens, is there a possibility that later on, using the scientific method, we may arrive at something we did not know, yes or no?
Yeah. So is it a possibility?
That's fine.
So is it a possibility that later
It's so
on
reasonable.
we might find out that 100% the Quran was false and the Bible was true? Yes. So what is your point, bro? It's irrelevant.
You see, if I say yes and I am saying yes,
But then we haven't
makes it.
established anything. You've just said there's a
Thank you.
possibility that everything could be untrue. And
At
I've said
last,
there's a
you've got
possibility
it.
everything could be untrue.
Answer, you've got
So what? What is the reason why I would think that the Quran is more likely to be true than any other silly book? Why? This is what you were supposed to be.
You see,
if you're going to say that your goal in calling me over to debate was to establish that we can't know anything is true and you can't know anything is true, well done, mate.
You are going
I've always said
answer.
that. I've always said that.
Answer, you keep repeating the same old thing. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, because you are meant to try and convince me why I would take one silly book to be more likely to be true than any other silly book. Yeah, but you haven't even attempted to do that. All you've come here with your little goal, which is about an inch off the ground.
You are playing to the camera, answer.
Yeah, that was your goal, was to establish.
Oh, sorry, I never noticed that one. Sorry.
Whoopee,
Answer, I'm here. I'm here.
Well
right.
done.
Answer. I don't mind. You are entitled to your opinions. Yeah, of course he's entitled to the opinion, but it is
I'm
that
not
only.
Ask your permission, am I?
It's only.
I'm not going to ask your permission for my opinion, am I?
I would find it offensive if you did.
I wasn't expecting to hear that.
Exactly.
Why would you find it offensive if I asked you?
Why would you ask me?
I wouldn't.
Exactly.
But there's
Doesn't
nothing to be
matter.
offended about, even if I did.
Sorry?
There's nothing to be offended
It's
about.
subjective. I can find it offensive.
Yeah, but...
And you agree, don't
Wait,
you?
If I said Shabir,
Intuition has told me.
Shabir,
You
am I
agree,
allowed to have
don't
my
you?
opinion?
Yeah,
Shabir,
it's
am I allowed
okay.
to have my opinion?
No,
Bro, if
I
said
wouldn't come
Shabir,
to that.
Am I allowed to tell you my opinion because I consider it might be offensive? What would be wrong in me saying that?
I would have no problem.
But you just said that you take it offensive.
I might subjectively, yes.
Right.
Okay, it's a might because I'm dealing with
Okay,
might
but
speculation
then-
here.
This is what I'm saying
So,
to you is that we
answer.
always
My
talk
brother.
on mights because we can't use absolutes. So this is all I've been saying from the beginning. Now you're trying to attack my lack of absolutism as if it's somehow a
I haven't
failure.
attacked it.
Yeah? But
I
that's,
was
that's
only-
just being rational and reasonable.
No. I'm being rational and suggesting to you. Look, answer. Perhaps.
He wants to get on the road.
Perhaps I know absolutely. So do I. Perhaps it is time we actually encourage people to look at the evidence rather than coming up with subjective.
Yeah.
If I can, assessments, yeah? No, intuition is one thing. We can all use it every so often once we have defined it, yeah? At the end of the day, what we want is to explore the possibilities and consider ourselves not only on a learning curve, but also assisting other people to learn. And that's
true.
the
That's fine.
that's the
I'm
only
100%
option.
with that. But then
That's-
that means that you don't know Islam is 100% true.
I am telling you now, I would entirely base it on the evidence.
Right. Watch this. Is Islam 100% true?
On the evidence, yes.
Yeah. You see this? Come on, bro. This embarrassing.
One second. Answer.
Answer.
You've asked. Can I ask you now? On the basis of no. Answer. Look at me here. Answer. Can you 100% tell me the Quran isn't?
I said no.
Sorry, what was
I
that?
said no.
Did you look at the evidence?
Am I the one claiming that it's
answer.
100% not true?
Whoa,
I'm just saying that I can't say it's true 100% and I can't say it's not true 100%. He agreed with that for the last 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
And when I asked him
Answer.
directly, is that Islam 100% true? Based on the evidence, it is.
Yeah.
Hypocrite.
How can I be a hypocrite if I've considered the evidence? You
Yeah,
haven't.
but do you understand?
You
understand though,
Of
yeah?
course you will understand it. He's like you.
Bro.
Look, answer. At the end of the day, did
for
you?
20 minutes, this guy has been showing me his only goal here was to establish
Playing.
that I can't know anything 100% and neither can he. He
About-
admitted that a number of times himself. So I asked him directly, is Islam 100% true? And he said, based on the evidence, it is. Bro, that is a contradiction.
Okay, can I respond? According to the scientific method, should you consider the evidence? Sorry, what was that? I can't hear it, answer. As you can see,
Bro.
if you can, no. I asked a simple question.
So
You
according to
can't.
the, I'll answer it. According
No,
to the
no,
scientific-
yeah.
According to the scientific method, you should always consider the evidence. Your conclusion should be 100% related and defined by the evidence. Yes. So that's the principle in science. However, in science, we won't take it to a. Bro, shut up a second. Bro, shut up a second. In science, we
It's
won't
getting
take it
emotional.
to a
Calm down,
100%
my brother.
absolute.
Calm down.
In
Okay.
science, we will use that
Yeah, no
process,
problem.
referring to evidence as where you start from.
Okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
Yes. We will use that
Yeah.
evidence as the place to start from for making our conclusion. However, we know that we might find better ways of testing
Ooh,
things in the future,
1740, just
and we
spot
might have
on.
to revise and remodel our conclusion. So it's not 100%.
Okay.
Now, if he was to play by the rules of science, he would have
He's
stuck to what
pointing
he
at
said
me.
for 20 minutes, which was that as a Muslim, I think the Quran is true based on the evidence.
The brother
but
is
I can't
pointing
be
at me.
100% sure because in the future we might get more evidence which overturns
talking
my
to
proof of the
the
Quran.
brother's back.
That is being consistent to the scientific method. But then to use 2 steps of the scientific method and go to 100% absolute, that is a criminal activity intellectually.
Lock him up.
Excellent. You are entitled to your opinion. That's all it is.
I don't play these
But,
silly games. Do I play silly games?
Well,
Nah.
actually, you have been doing for nearly half an hour. Yeah. Listen. At the end of the
Shuffle.
there we go. Personal, no problem.
I'm only
I
joking,
don't
brother.
mind. Look, at the end of the day, you did say, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you agreed with me. Based on the scientific method, should you consider the evidence? And then you went off to, yes, you should do this, that. I'm saying, yes, I agree with you. Did you do it? The answer is no. That's all. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's all fun,
Please
yeah.
do forgive me
No,
if I
don't be
said
silly,
anything.
bro.
No.
I should be
Absolute answer.
apologizing.
No,
You know
don't
me,
worry.
this is just the
It's
way I
forgiven,
am.
of
I'm just a
course.
bit
I know
fun
you are.
and, you know,
No.
a bit excited, yeah?
Absolutely, no.
We'll fight later,
No,
innit? It's all good.
no. God
All
bless.
love,
Look
yeah?
after yourself. Okay. Yeah.